How old is the cabling in your property? Hi, I'm Matt from Red Tub Electrical, and in this video I'll be going through cable through the ages. The one type of cable I've never been able to come across, which I really want to, is paper insulated cable. It dates back to about 1910, and it sort of predates the First World War. Well, I've heard about it. It's quite an interesting thing for me where I'd like to find it. However, I do go back to the 1930s, lead insulated cables. 1950s, the VIR, which is vulcanized Indian rubber. 1960s, rubberized cable. This one's falling to pieces, but we'll get onto that later. 1970s, the grey, red and black insulated cable. 1980s, we've got there. That's again white, red and black. And from about 2004 onwards, the grey, blue and brown. All that is to be shown in this video going forward. So unfortunately, as you may have been able to see, is my battery died. So what we're going to do, we'll start off with the lead insulated cable. What I'm going to try and do is get a nice sort of clearer picture on here. There we go. So lead insulated cable is what it says in the tin. This was used in the 1930s, and with this I've only ever found it under floors and never in loft spaces or ceilings or anything like that. So I assume they only used it as power and not for lighting. However, I cannot be too sure about that. But it's quite an interesting cable, an interesting find for me, and sounds a lot different to if you bash any of the other cables on the side. So that there is your lead insulated cable. Moving on from the lead, we go to the 1950s, which is the VIR, vulcanized Indian rubber cable, and this has sort of like a cotton coating on it. And it used to be sort of like a waxy cotton coating and a single strand of aluminium, it looks like here. Also, what I've done here is I've chopped into one just a bit to sort of show you the insides of what all of that is about. So yeah, there you've got like the cotton coating on the outside, as you can see there, and it's got, I'm not even sure what the inside of that is, but it's got some sort of hardened interior, but also it snaps so easily. As you can see there, it's snapped away. Camera's not focusing great at the minute, but no, it's not going to do it. But that's your VIR. Again, you won't find this in your property now unless it's not being used. Generally it was used and run through sort of like a conduit, if you like. This camera's really not wanting to focus today. Let's see what we can do here. There we go. Yeah, so this was running red and black through sort of like a steel conduit around the house, power and lighting from what I know. We're going to move up to the 1960s now. Is the rubber insulated cable, and as you can see I've cut into this one and it's just falling apart. So hopefully you're not still using this around your property. That's meant to be, that red sheathing there is meant to be around that cable. You've got your earth in the middle here, and you've got, this is meant to be your black cable right there. However, again, that's stuck on the inside there, and this is the end I found on it under the floor, so you can see what sort of condition that's in. But yeah, that was That was in the 60s they were using this, and again, looks to me as though it was aluminium. Was it aluminium cores in this? No, sorry, copper cores on this one. They did use aluminium on the 1970s grey sheathed red and black with your earth in the middle. That's to be coated in a green and yellow sleeving, as today we still do exactly the same thing. This is a single strand one. They also did a multi-strand, and they did this in aluminium. If you have aluminium in your property today, it'd be recommended to get it changed, because if any electrician comes across it, they should not be re-terminating it. Reason being is it's weak. Once you've sort of clamped it all back down inside a circuit breaker or anything like that, it snaps and it breaks. So you don't want that. Also, this age cable suffered from a thing called green goo, and what green goo is where the sheathing, and it had a chemical reaction with the copper and the outer sheathing, and when it got warm, had some sort of chemical reaction. It had like this green goo that came out of it, a bit like fairy liquid, and it can actually start coming out of the sockets and out of everything like that, and start running down your wall. Bit of a pain, to be honest. But then they fixed this problem, and they went on to the white, red and black. Again, sleeve this one, green and yellow. Well, meant to be, but a lot of them from way back when aren't. So they went on to the white, red and black, which I have here, trying to get that in focus for you. So went on to this again. They've done these in aluminium as well. No, sorry, they stopped the aluminium on these, and they went to nickel plated copper on there. Losing my words today. Nickel plated copper on there, which looks like aluminium but actually isn't. And again, you won't find that on a solid strand, but you will find that on a multi-strand cable of this age. So you will still find this in your properties. I would suggest getting an electrical installation condition report done on your property, because this will tell you the integrity of this cable to see if it's still okay to be used, because the thing is a lot of it still is. However, over the years the insulation breaks down, gets damaged, gets caught under floorboards, that sort of stuff, and yeah, it's always just good to get your property checked. However, moving on to what we use today is the brown, blue and green and yellow sleeving. So these are the new Harmonic colours. I personally don't find this as threatening as the red and black. Red is always a lot of danger, sort of screams that you do not touch this, where brown, a lot of DIY sort of people, they do bits, and what they do is they think that brown is the earth, because obviously, using common sense, brown earth, but it's not, it's the live. So I have seen people, or even had people ask me going, oh, is brown the earth? You go, nah buddy, sorry, it's not. So again, this has been used from 2004 onwards. If you had this installed in the early days, again, probably be very good to get your property checked on an electrical installation condition report. These should technically be carried out every 5 years, a bit like an MOT on your car, but this is all for your property. So every 5 years you should be getting an EICR carried out, just to make sure that your home is safe, and pretty much it's not going to cause you any sort of problems with electric shock. It's not going to end up setting any fires or anything like that. So that's sort of the cable through the ages, as early as I can get. 1930s, 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s and today. I hope you found that of some useful information, and also, if I were you, if you can see in your property what sort of age cable you have, you can also make a decision on whether you need to get yourself upgraded, tested or anything like that. So if you found this useful, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.